Hi folks, Six Slices here. Now I'm going to have a look at some knives from Arthur Wright today. Now in the past there's always been a bit of an issue with Arthur Wright in that you couldn't be sure you were going to get a good one. They made some very fine knives, and also they made some decidedly second-rate knives, and when you ordered one and it was sent to you, you couldn't really be sure what you were going to get. So unless you could go to Sheffield and go to the famous Sheffield shop or Sheffield cutlery shop or somewhere like that, you were reliant on perhaps ordering from the likes of Heine Haynes or whatever, and you just really couldn't be sure what you were going to get. Now I think of late they have, since Michael and Ashley Harrison have taken over running the show, I think they've made some huge improvements on the way things go. But here's a little test. I have various people that have sent me things that I want to send something back to, and so I ordered 4 knives exactly the same. So this is what I ordered. Now I already had one of these, you've already seen it reviewed, although that one has actually gone to Tobias Gibson, Knife Chats with Tobias. This one here is my replacement, and as you can see, fit the back spring and so forth, pretty good. Cut off at the end of the spring, maybe not great, but bear in mind these are towards the budget end. They're round about the £40 mark, but that's for ebony. Centering is close, not perfect, but pretty close. They do have the famously strong Sheffield action, but then again they're quite new, so they've not really been broken in yet. In terms of sharpness, pretty much a so-so edge, though this one's been sharpened on the Lansky, so it's actually got a very, very sharp edge. Nice crisp stamping of A. Wright and Son Limited, Sheffield, England. That's nice and clear. Reasonable polish to the blades. I mean, these are not £150 collector's knives, but it still has a good polish to the blade. And the handles are made of ebony, and I say that's pretty nice for the price. You could spend £10 less and have them made of rosewood, but there's some nice grain, some nice pattern in that. But question still remains: if you order one of these knives, how do you know if you're going to get a good one? Well, here's a way to answer that question. Here are, still in their packets, the other 3. So let's see what they're like. Don't do unboxings, but here we are, debaggings. Back to the camera. So we have here 3 more identical, near identical Lambsfoot knives with ebony covers. So let's have a quick look at them, each one. Right, now looking at this one, there's a tad of gapping towards the bottom there, but nothing I would be, certainly at the price, nothing that I would be getting concerned about. Again though, very nice grain in the wood, nice patterns to it. Very nice. Number 2, that's number 3 really. Again, some very, very slight gapping, but nothing, if you were collecting Sheffield collectible knives of old, you would see far, far worse gapping Centering on this one is a little bit off, but nothing that couldn't be corrected in a few minutes with a light hammer. We looked at the centering on that one, did we? That one's pretty good actually. It's pretty much centered. And finally, have we saved the best for last? I think we have. No gapping in that at all. Centering again is a little bit off, but it's not rubbing, and I say easily fixed in a few minutes. And there's perhaps a very slight gap on the back there, but again nothing worth worrying about. And again the cut-off of the end of the spring is a little bit wayward. But anyway, the point of this is to say that I think even if you pick up several of the same knife, you can now be reasonably assured that you're going to get something which will be of decent, consistent quality, and I think that's worth celebrating. And now this one's not been cleaned. This is straight out of the packet, so you can see there's quite a bit of gunk and gubbins around there. Blade could do with a wee shine. There's quite a lot of gunk and gubbins around there. Fit of the blade to the spring, excellent. And as I've said already, they don't come terribly sharp, but they never have. That is, if there's one failing that Wright consistently have, that's exactly it. Now this one, far less gubbins. Again, could probably do with a quick wipe and a polish. Blade fit, again, pretty damn good. And finally, again, could do with a bit of a wash. Same on that side. Printing's nice and crisp, nice and clear. Yeah, again, I mean, sort of inside, they could do with a wee rinse and a clean, but nothing you couldn't do in a few minutes. And quite honestly, with just a few minutes, you can clean them up like this. I've given this a light oil with mineral oil, nothing particularly special, and a quick polish with a cloth, but not I'm not taking any polish to it. I've just taken it over with a cloth just to remove some of those sort of oily marks off the blade. But there we are, 4 near identical knives, and the quality is very consistent between them. And I think that's that one hurdle that Wright's had to get over, and I think they've got over it, and there seems to be a way. As I've spoken to Ashley about the fact that I think it would be much better if they came sharper, because not everybody that buys a pocket knife is able to sharpen it before they just stick it in their pocket. A lot of people expect it to just be sharp. Now granted, if you're going to own and collect knives, you really ought to learn how to sharpen them. But even if you haven't, you ought to be able to buy a knife and be able to use it out of the box. And I think these are just a bit too dull for that. Now I polished this one with a landscape to give it a nice polished edge, but that's just because that's the one that's staying with me. I may do the others before I send them off, but I think it's probably fairer to Wright and to everybody else when these arrive with other people who review knives, particularly over in America, they ought to see what they're getting and not what they're capable of becoming once you've had them for a little while. So that's all I've got to say about these. If you like this stuff, please give it a wee thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of these, please tick the subscribe button. And if you want to actually see them, remember to ring the bell or you won't see them. So thank you very much. That's me for now. See you later. Bye.